Hi everybody. So I hope this is working out all right. I've had a few issues this morning, but I'm glad to be here. So I hope this is posting in the Spirit Wellness page today. So let's get started. So the topic today is the universe is always working out for you. And I believe this wholeheartedly more and more each day. And I just want to kind of start in the beginning here. So I'm Shannon and I run Spirit Wellness. And I've decided that every Tuesday at 10:30 I'm going to do a live just to talk about things I'm interested in and maybe share a little bit of knowledge. And so Spirit Wellness is going to be doing posts every day, and I'm hoping for some interaction. So I've actually been getting that, so that's awesome. I want to hear from you guys, and I want to know what's been going on for you when I do posts. So if you see that I've asked for comments or interactions, go for it. Don't hesitate, don't hold back. My page is a no judgment zone. I say just go for it. That's where I am right now in my life. So interact with the posts, come on to the Facebook Lives, and bring your questions, because I'm always going to leave a little bit of time at the end for a few questions. And other than that, I run Spirit Wellness, and in that business, I do one-on-one intuitive coaching. So if you're ever looking for a coach, I'm right here. And I wanted to mention that I'm also going to be starting groups. So it's been on my mind so much lately. So if you're looking for some groups, hi, I think that's Heather. If you're looking for a group, then let me know what sort of things you're wanting to learn about, or what sort of things you've been looking for in a group, and I'm trying to put some together. So anyways, just let me know. And you can reach me at the Spirit Wellness website, the Spirit Wellness Facebook site, or by email, which is spiritwellnesssoulspa at gmail.com. Okay, but I'll put that in the comments underneath. So let's get started. So when I was thinking about the universe is always working out for you and me, I thought to myself, okay, what are the different ways that it comes? Because that's kind of the difficulty with all these things, is it shows up in so many different ways. So the first thing I started with was the universe is always working out for us, but sometimes it shows up in a way that we don't expect. It's not in the format that we thought it would come. So an example that I thought of was, I was moving cities with my family, and we were looking for a house. And we had lived in our previous house for 10 years, and so this time we thought we wanted to get really specific about what we wanted, because we wanted it to be our forever house. We didn't want to move again. So we had said, basically, I wanted a kitchen that was open with an island, because we have a lot of family dinners and have a lot of people over, and I just like the atmosphere of having everyone together. So that was important to us. And the other piece was I wanted a fourth bedroom or something like that, because we have a lot of family outside of town, excuse me, and we wanted to be able to have them stay here. So we looked and we looked for like 4 months, and we couldn't find anything that suit those things. And I think my husband wanted a garage. So, and a nice backyard actually. So we were looking for this, we couldn't find anything. And then finally, after 4 months of looking, I went to see a house by myself with the realtor. And when I walked out, I said, you know what? My husband is gonna love this house. And deep down, I loved it too, but it did not have a fourth bedroom, and it did not have an open kitchen. It had a garage and it had a backyard. So it had the things that he wanted, which is perfect too. But in my heart, I knew that this was the house. There was something about it that said that, but because it didn't meet the criteria that I had wanted, I thought the fear sank in, and I was like, oh my goodness, if it doesn't have those things, then am I sacrificing, fear, right? How are those things going to happen if they don't have them? And so anyways, the universe is always working out for you. So my husband and I came back and we saw the house again, and we were like, oh, this is the house. But there was already 2 offers in on it. And so we just waited, and wouldn't you know it, those 2 offers fell through for whatever reason. So then we put an offer in on the house. But before we did that, I said, universe, send me a sign. So we went and saw the house one more time. Hi Leslie, how are you doing? Glad to see everybody coming out. Say hi guys, because I don't know you're on here unless you put a comment in. I can see your little hearts going by, but they're so tiny on my phone I can't see who it is. So if you are here, I'd love to say hi to you. So hi Leslie. Yeah, so we went and saw the house one more time, and I said, universe, I need a definite sign because I'm living in this fear space right now. I can feel that it's the right house, but I'm not. Hi Cindy! That's so awesome. Oh no. I hope it's still going. Anyways, so yeah, so I was living in that fear space, and I was saying, you know, I can't trust this feeling that I feel like it's the right house, so send me a sign. We saw the house one more time, and I still didn't know, and we left, and as I was walking out, my phone, oh no, I don't know what's going on. I hope this isn't getting too fuzzy, but my phone, as I was walking out of the house, started blaring this, I think it was a lecture of some sort, saying, the universe is always working out for you, manifest your dreams, all these things. And I like quickly went to my car and got in and looked down, and I was like, what the heck is this? You know what I mean? I didn't even know I had downloaded it. I recognized the work, but I didn't know I even had it on my phone. So I quick turned it off, and I just sat there for a minute. I was like, there's a sign, right? And I had already felt it, but it was just one of those things that when you're in a fear space, it really helps. It really helps to confirm that so you can let go of the fears. So we bought the house without even any conditions, because at that time we couldn't do the conditions if we wanted the house. So, and our house was not sold. So I just had to live in that space knowing that the universe had sent me a message, that the universe is always working out for me, and knowing that the universe had sent me a message that that was the house that I was meant to be in. And just accept that it was whatever it was. So point being is we bought the house, wonderful house, love it so much. It didn't have an open kitchen, and that was a process. We ended up getting one. It was a huge process. I love the open kitchen we have now. It still doesn't have a fourth bedroom, but we've made do. So point being is the universe always knows better than you. Always. So you put your desires out there, and the universe will work out for you in the way that it's meant to work out. So trust your feelings, and if you're in a spot of fear, then ask for signs. So I just left it open. I just honestly said, send me a sign. Sorry, I'm getting lots of notifications here. So, and it sent me a sign. So that's just, know that the universe is always working out for you, and that sometimes it's going to be delivered to you in a way that you weren't expecting. So be open to whatever it is that it will look like, okay? And if you're not trusting that, just ask for a sign. So the next thing the universe might do when it's trying to work out for you is that it might be trying to teach, so you may be asking for a solution. So I would say 2 months ago, I was having some difficult times with my kids. They're 4 and 2, so they're really going through some stages right now, and I really wanted to help them and me make things easier. So I had asked the universe for a coach, or a mentor, or a program to help me become a better parent, and just to set some boundaries, teach them better, that sort of thing. And so I said, universe, send me this whatever. The first person I saw come up on the computer, and it kind of resonated with me because it was all about attachment parenting, which I don't do 100%, but I know about it, and I try to do pieces of it, right? Anyways, so it sounded good, so I called her. We booked the appointment right away. She was able to get me in right away, which seemed like a sign to me, like this is perfect, right? I do the appointment with her, and so this is why you have to be totally open sometimes. I do the appointment with her, and I'll tell you this right now, during it and right after it, I thought to myself, this is horrible. Like, my heart was just sank. During the session with her, thanks for the hearts, guys. During the session with her, I felt shame. So basically, she was telling me that I should never have put my children in separate bedrooms. Once, I think they were in my room until they were like 4 months, and then they started to sleep in their crib. And she said I should never have done that. We should have a king-size mattress on the floor, and we should all co-sleep together, which I've heard of, and the power to you to people who have done that. I actually have considered it quite a bit, actually, when she was saying it and even before. Anyways, but it brought a whole bunch of shame when she was constantly saying, this is what I should have done. She was recommending books. She was also recommending that perhaps I take my kids out of school and homeschool them because there's so much shame attached to kids going to school. The big picture after that is, after I was done with the phone call, I was in a panic. I had 100% handed my power over to her. And so I had asked the universe for solutions, and I thought the universe was giving me the solutions back. 100%, right? So instead of using my heart and my brain, I took it at face value, what she told me, and I said, okay. I said to my husband, we have to get a king-size mattress and put it on the floor, and we all have to co-sleep, and maybe I'll have to start looking at maybe I can transition to homeschooling. That's way down the line, but let's start with the co-sleeping, all these crazy things. And my husband is so wonderful. He was like, okay, but let's take it slow. Let's see how this week goes, and then next week let's adjust, right? Let's just see what we want to do at that point. So after 2 days, I was exhausted. Thanks, guys. I was so exhausted from my mind going like, oh, you need to do this, this, and this. And all of a sudden, I said, hold up here. Hold up. I asked the universe to help me solve some problems with my children, and this has just created a whole bunch more work for me, and I'm not even sure I resonate with it all. And so I sat, and so this is what you need to do sometimes, is you need to just sit and listen. And so I sat and I listened, and I said, okay, I asked for this, this is what you sent me. And the message I got was, Shannon, what we're trying to teach you right now, the lesson right now, is to not give away your power. And so I realized in that moment I had 100% handed over my power to that woman who did the counseling session. And I'll tell you, that was the biggest lesson I've had in a long time. And I had asked for solutions for my children. Well, that lesson of not handing over my power has come into play so often in trying to now find better parenting solutions for them and for me. So again, sometimes it comes in a way that you don't expect, so like the house, and then you ask for a sign. And sometimes it's not a solution you get. You may be asking for a solution, but instead what you might get is a lesson. And so the universe is always working out for you. I 100% feel that, know that to be true. And so in that moment, when I was so angry about the way that counseling session had gone, and 3 days later, after I had come back to myself and realized that I had just kind of went over the edge for a bit, I realized that was all fear, right? I had let fear take me over instead of just listening and feeling it through. But I'll tell you, what a gift that counseling session was. So for a while, like a day or two, I thought to myself I was going to write her a letter and say, if I'm a social worker by trade, so before I did this, I did that. And so I even know about handing over power and giving away power. So I thought if she does counseling sessions with other people, it may even have a more traumatic effect. So I thought about that for a day, but then I thought, you know what? The universe is always working out for you. Even though this lady, she wasn't trying to harm me, and truthfully, she gave me such a gift. So it's looking at the experiences that you're going through and saying to yourself, even though it felt really terrible in the moment, what can I gain from this? What is the lesson I can get from this? What is this helping me with? Is this going to bring something to me that maybe I didn't expect that's going to be amazing? So after I thought about that, I thought, you know what? No, it's not my place. I didn't feel it to be true. It's not my place to email her and say this, because you know what? It could help somebody who really wants to do those things. And it definitely helped me to know that I learned that I need to keep my power. And that was a huge, huge lesson for me. That I think about on a daily basis now. Like I used to do cleanses and they'd always work, but right after that counseling session, I did a cleanse in a group and I said, you know what? I'm going to hold on to my power and I'm going to do the cleanse how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to follow the rules 100%. And it's the best cleanse I've ever done, in that I was able to carry it on before and after, because I held on to my power. So again, the universe was working out for me because it taught me a huge lesson, even though it didn't feel great in the moment. So just because the universe is working out for you doesn't mean it feels great. It doesn't always feel great in the moment. But when you look back, it feels like you definitely got the better end of the stick and you learned something and you're better for it. So that's the second one. I'm just trying to keep track of time because I know I did 40 minutes last time and not everybody has the time to listen to that. So thank you so much, Leslie and Cindy and everybody who's here today. I'm going to try and not make it so long this time. Okay, so then the next thing is, I'm just going to bring up very briefly, so we did the counseling session. Oh, yes, and sometimes, so I'm going to give you an example of sometimes we are heading in a direction, and so then the universe kind of sends us in a different direction because it sees us kind of getting off track, although we're never off track. So I had been dating a guy for 7 years. We were going to buy a house together. And then the last year of us dating, it had not gone well. Like I really felt that like he just didn't seem like he was happy. And I kept asking him and he said, no, it's not you, it's whatever. But then after the year came up, he broke up with me. And I was devastated. I was mad because I felt like I had wasted that whole year when I was asking him if everything was okay, and it wasn't, and he wasn't telling me the truth. And I was embarrassed. There was all sorts of things that I was feeling, right? I knew that deep down I knew it was good that it had ended, but I was just in that spot where I felt afraid and I felt embarrassed and different things. So anyways, I keep moving on. I do a lot of soul work, and after about 4 months, I said to the universe, okay, I'm ready to start dating again. I've done a lot of work. I'm ready. And I asked the universe to send me someone, and after about a month, they did. They sent me my now husband, actually, in a really weird way. They sent me him, and then they took him away for like 2 months. And I just trusted. I trusted that, you know what, maybe he wasn't the one, maybe he was. And then the universe sent him back, right? So I just completely trusted throughout that whole thing. But where I'm going with this is that when I ended up dating my husband when he was back and we were 100% dating, what happened was I was still angry. Like 5 months had passed since my previous relationship, and even though I had done some soul work, I was still very angry. And so one day, because we had deep conversations often, my husband and me, and I said to him, you know, I'm still angry that I felt like my previous boyfriend had wasted a whole year of my life. And my now husband just looked at me and said, but look what's in front of you. And I was like, it took my breath away when he said that, because he was right. I was still in that anger space, holding on to that anger, to the how dare the universe do this to me? How dare he do this to me? But I wasn't playing the opposite game. I wasn't saying, how dare they give me such a wonderful man now? You know, we're always quick to complain about how dare the universe give me this terrible experience. But when we get the great experiences, we don't say, who am I to get this great experience, right? We live in a world of contrast and duality, and we need both. Because without the not so great experiences, the great experiences would never feel so great, and you actually wouldn't even know that they were right for you. So I 100% know that I needed to have that other relationship to know how amazing the new relationship was. So the old relationship had to be not great for the new relationship to feel so amazing. You need that contrast and that duality to figure it out. And so the universe was constantly working out for me. They were sending me this situation so that I then would recognize the second situation as something wonderful. The one thing that I want to point out, though, is that sometimes when when the opposite thing happens so that we can know that the good thing is coming, we get stuck in the anger. So if my husband hadn't have said that to me, if he hadn't have said, look, how can you be so angry? Look at what's in front of you. Let go of the past. Do you know what I mean? Look at how wonderful and beautiful the future is. If he hadn't have said that to me, perhaps I might have still kept festering about what previously. Yes, that's right, Cindy. Holding on to anger completely isolates you. That's exactly it. So if you hold on to that anger, then what happens is that you miss all the opportunities because the universe is always working out for you. So it gave you this situation so that then you can compare it to the new situation. But if you hold on to the anger from the previous situation, you're going to completely miss the end result, which is what the universe wanted you to see in the first place. It wanted to give you this wonderful opportunity in the end, but if you're stuck in the past still holding on to the negative stuff, you're never going to see that amazing end result that they just gave you. So if I had just kept thinking and thinking about how mad I was about the previous relationship, what would have happened is it would have totally eaten up my heart and all my time. I wouldn't have focused on this new relationship, and I would never have given it a chance. It wouldn't have made it through all of that. But because as soon as he said that, it totally resonated, something dissipated in my heart, and it all just broke to pieces. And I just never saw it the same after that. I just saw it that the universe basically gave me that one situation to bring forth this wonderful next situation. And from that moment on, I did nothing but thank my lucky stars that it happened. And bless the person that I was with previously, because look how my life has turned out. It's so amazing. And look how their life has turned out. It's all a journey. It's all a process. And the more we hang on to the anger and the feelings we had before, which are real, but you have to work through them and then let them go, because you're right, Cindy, it will isolate you and it's not going to open you up to the new opportunities and the wonderful things that are coming next. Okay? So I just have a couple more minutes here to talk, and then then if you guys have any questions, we'll go on that way. So the next thing is like lots of times things happen that we think are coincidences, but the universe is not a place of coincidences. It's happening for you. So yesterday, I realized I left my purse at my mother's house, which is like an hour and a bit away, and I was like, oh, why is this happening, right? Like, I only get so many days off, now I have to go pick it up. But I'll tell you, I had the most wonderful visit, and I'm gonna get kind of teary-eyed here, but I had the most wonderful visit with her, and I thought to myself after I got home, why don't I do this more often? So the universe is always working out for you. So those times when you're like frustrated, like, why didn't my car start? Or why am I running late? I'll tell you, every time I've been late, it's been amazing. So if I'm starting to get late, I just trust. One time I was going to a workshop and I was late, and I said, okay, if I need to go faster, you need to send me a sign. If I need to just relax, send me a sign. And I'll tell you, I looked right in front of me at that moment, and there were, you know how sometimes Jeeps have those tires on the back, and it said something like, you're doing okay, or everything's going to be fine. And it was like in huge bold letters. So everything is always working out for you. And I'll tell you, the reason I got the perfect spot. So when I walked in, I was one of the last people to come in, and so I got the perfect spot. So the universe is always working out for you. I was meant to be a little bit late to that so I could get the perfect spot. I was meant to leave my purse there so that I could spend such a wonderful day with my mother. All these things are on purpose. And so the last thing that we're going to talk about here is just quickly is the election in the States. So this is just, I'm going to do it really brief. The day when Trump and Hillary Clinton were running, I thought, oh my goodness, what is this? You know what I mean? Like they're both not great candidates. And in the end there, I was like, just because of my values, and anybody who loves Trump and votes for Trump, you know, I'm glad, and we all have different perspectives, but I was really sad when Trump won because it went against my values. But again, because I believe in that the universe is always working out for us, I knew that there had to be some sort of good that was going to come out of this, or that like there's this thing called the law of opposites. So often when we as people want something, so say I want a new job, what the universe is going to give me is the opposite of that right off the bat. So lots of people will quit at that point and think that the universe is against them. But that's not the case. The universe is always working out for you. But with the law of opposites, it's going to give you the opposite right off the bat, always. And so people who know about the law of opposites will just work through it and know that, oh, I'm getting close to what I really want. And so it'll give you the job you don't want. And then you turn that down. And then guess what? You still stay clear about what you want. And guess what? That's when you get the job you really want. Just like how I met my husband, I had been clear, and then he went away, right? Because I stuck with it and I knew that the universe is always working out for me, he came back. So that's the law of opposites. So with Trump and Hillary, I really feel like it's the law of opposites happening here, because as a people, we're really wanting someone who's more genuine, we're wanting someone who's authentic, and so the law of opposites, this is what it has brought us, someone who is kind of the opposite of that. And with this, what it's going to do is help people get really, really clear about what they want. So as soon as Trump became president, in the group of spiritual people that I work with, and just on Facebook, I saw people rise up so huge to say, you know what, we got to get going on this. And it's like people who kind of were staying in the backgrounds, like myself and different people I know, all of a sudden were like, it's too important. You got to step out of your comfort zone and go forward with it. All because Donald Trump became president, right? Had he not, maybe we all would have just sat back still and just let it kind of be. And then Hillary Clinton, you know, it would have been the same old, and nobody would have made any change. And we need to make change. The same old is not great right now. So that's the message, is that the universe is always working out for us. And even when it doesn't seem great, like when Donald Trump becomes the president, or when someone breaks up with you, or, you know, you're going to buy a house and it doesn't seem like it fits all your criteria, or you lose your purse somewhere, it's always working out for you. It's either teaching you a lesson, or it's giving you the law of opposites first so that you can get clear about what you want, truly want. It's showing you the opposite so that you know exactly what you want. Or maybe it's trying to point you in the right direction. Maybe we're going the wrong direction, and so it's slowly taking that away and offering you something better. So again, it's just about being open and really just saying, okay, what are you bringing me? And trusting that what is being brought to you is the better option, is the better thing, and just trust it. Okay, so now I'm going to take questions. I got about 5 minutes here for anybody who has any questions. So I'll just wait for everybody to type it out. Yeah, and so... If you have any questions just about the universe working out for you, or lessons, or learning, and I know sometimes it's hard when we're being called right in the moment, but you know what? I'm going to give it a couple more seconds, and if I don't see anything, then what I'm going to do is just ask you to type it in the comments, and I'll answer it later on today, okay? So I think with that, I'm going to say goodbye. And thank you, Cindy, and thank you, Leslie, for coming out. You guys are awesome. And I hope that made sense today, because I know sometimes I can get a little bit wordy, but that's why I'm trying to give personal experiences to it. Oh, okay, here we are. So Cindy says, my daughter has started high school. How do I guide her to guide her to not follow in my footsteps? Okay, so this is what I will tell you, Cindy, is that just speak from your heart. Speak from your heart and just explain to her your experience, but this is the one thing I really want to focus on, is that her journey is, again, on purpose, and the universe is always working out for her too. So let's say that she does follow your footsteps. Well, trust that that was meant to be, and that that's going to benefit her in the end, because if we try to hold people back from experiencing life and hold people back from experiencing hurts and pains, and we also holding them back from all the amazing things that they can learn from that. So this is not 100%, but I'll give you this example, is that as a kid, as you can see, I get cold sores on my cheeks. I've had them forever, okay? So I bet you my mother would have said, is there something that universe I could do to prevent my daughter from having to experience those, because they're painful and it's embarrassing for her and it holds her back. But I will tell you this, growing up, I totally didn't I would have wished anything to give them away. But now I know that what it has done is it has given me the gift of being humble. I have compassion for other people. It helps me stay centered and stay grounded. And I see it as a gift. I do. So I hope that has answered your question. I always just try to, especially with my kids, remember their path is their path. And anything that seems terrible that they're going through, I just, with my heart, try to support them through it. But know that, again, the universe is working out for them too. And that they're going to be stronger for it. And they're going to gain something from it too, that they were meant to gain. Okay? So I hope that made sense, and I hope that helps. Okay, well, I'm going to sign off because I don't want this to be too long of a video. So thank you so much, guys, for coming out today. I love you with all my heart. Okay, have a great day. Take care.